Hey everyone, Brittany here from By Brittany Goldwyn, and today I have something for you that is at the perfect intersection of two of the things I pretty much only post videos about on here, and that's DIY and plants. I got a laser cutter and engraver and blade cutter. It is an Xtool M1 machine, and when the company Xtool reached out to me to ask if I wanted to review one of their machines, the M1 here, I said absolutely yes. So they sent me the machine to review, and I've had a lot of fun playing around with it since I got it. So for this video, I'm going to walk you through the unboxing and setup process for this machine. It came really close to being almost completely set up. From it arriving on my porch to finishing my first project was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm going to walk you through that, walk you through some of the materials, show you the process, and then share a couple of the projects that I've made so far. Here is a look at two of them. This one is a cat. I love it, so cute. And then this one is the very first project I made, a little mushroom trellis, which looks perfect with my little Hoya here. It's already winding and crawling all over it. So I'll walk you through how I designed these, how I made them, and then show you a couple of the other trellises I made that I've yet to put in my plants, and share some of the things that I like about the machine. So let's get into it. So here's a look at the actual box that it was shipped in to my house. I would say that the majority of the setup process that I referenced was actually literally unboxing it. So cutting everything open, making sure I understand what was in the package, all that good stuff. So I did get a premium materials package. So this is a little peek at some of the stuff it came with. These are all of the Xtool branded blanks, handy little instruction book. There's a bag for some of the heat transfer vinyl, wood samples, vinyl, wood coaster samples, rock coasters, all that good stuff I can't wait to try out. Here's a look at actually opening up the machine and what it looks like when you get it. So taking out all of this packaging, making sure I set all of the important stuff to the side that I would have to add in later. And if you are doing the blade cutting, it has the mats that come in the bottom of the machine. This is just me doing the very quick setup process of attaching the exhaust pipe. It's like a tube, you'll see it here in a second, that you put on after you screw in these little bad boys. You can just put that at a door or a window or anything like that. I just put it at my sliding door while I was working. This is pretty much the only actual physical setup process I had to do with my unboxing, is attaching this tube and making sure everything was set to go. As part of the software setup, I actually already had my account created and software downloaded and everything. So here you can see I'm just connecting my machine in the Xtool Creative Space, and then it pops up this live view of what's inside of the machine. So obviously there's nothing in there yet, but this is what that live view looks like after you get your machine set up and ready to go. And this is what it looks like from the outside of the machine. So you can see here, you would just place your material into the machine and then shut it, and that's when that live camera view pops on in the Xtool Creative Space. So here, I was just playing around with it here. I'm adding in the triangular prisms to elevate the material. You do want to elevate the material when you're working with the laser, so there's some separation between the base of the machine and the material. I'm going to be working with some of the 3mm basswood that came with my premium materials package. After I close the lid, it will refresh on here, and then you should see the material that you're working with pop up as your live view, which is pretty cool. So I'm working with an SVG file that I designed. It's a little mushroom-shaped houseplant trellis. And as you can see, you just pop it in and then place it where you'd like the laser to cut on the material, which is pretty cool. On the side here, you choose whether you want to score, engrave, or cut. Of course, I'm going to be cutting. You can see that it changes the color depending on which one you choose. And then I'm also selecting 3mm basswood for the material I'm using, and just using whatever settings that Xtool recommends. You do need to complete a framing process, which is pretty short. It just takes really under a minute. You do it 2 times, and that's just to help the laser kind of orient itself and figure out exactly where it's going to be cutting on your material that's in the machine. So when you're done your framing and you're ready to send it to the machine, you click this, it sends it to the machine, and then you click a button on the outside of your machine to start the actual project, which was very exciting. This was literally my first project that I did. This was my test project, and it did
that great. So I'm super happy with how this turned out. I'll give you a look here at what it also looked like while it was cutting. You can see the laser just slowly going around the cut areas. As it completely cuts away some areas, they may fall in. This only took one pass, so all of those areas did fall down as it was cutting. And then you can see this is me after the cut is done, pulling out my new trellis. I was pretty much tickled with the process. I could not believe that it just cut through this with one quick pass. I think this took like under 5 minutes or so. And here is my finished 3mm basswood wooden trellis. Pretty cool, right?
All right, so after I finished the cat trellis and all of the trellises really, if I wasn't painting them, I sprayed a waterproofing spray on them just to help prolong the life of the wood. Wood is always going to break down in wet soil, but this definitely will help to prolong the life of it and to make sure that too much moisture isn't getting onto the wood to break it down. So I'm gonna take this guy and I'm just gonna put him right in here. And then this plant isn't too mature yet, but I'm sure he will mature happily with his new kitty printer. And then this is another one that I made. I cut this one out of 6mm white oak plywood. This is already sealed and everything, ready to go. So I'm going to put it here in my Hoya Obscura, which you can see is really in need of something. I think I want this one to be a climber, not really a trailer. So I'm just gonna wiggle that guy down in there. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this review helpful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. And I will also put a link to my full review post on my blog. I'm going to be doing quite a few projects with these coming up. There's a lot of stuff to experiment with, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe for all of my plant care and DIY videos. See you soon.